What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Freddie the Fox. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the magic ring is already started for you. This is so that we can start off the project nice and easy and you don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. This is the very first round of the project. Here you'll see I'm pointing out the little V's. These are actually stitches, so you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 stitches or 6 V's. The stitches are what you're going to be working into in the next round in order to build on your project. You'll also find 2 stitch markers. This blue one here is marking the very first stitch of the round. That's where we're going to place the first stitch of the next round. The green stitch marker is marking the loop in which you're going to place your crochet hook to start working. You can see here that you can actually tighten and loosen this loop by pulling on the string that's attached to the ball of yarn. There are 2 different ways in which you can hold your crochet hook. This first way is like a knife. The second way is like a pencil. I personally find the pencil hold a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can play around and hold your crochet hook however you'd like. Next, you're going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn and wrap it a couple times around your finger. And then I like to pinch the magic ring with my middle finger and thumb like this. Again, this is just how I like to work on my projects, but as you go along, you can play with how you want to hold everything. So you can remove the green stitch marker and pop in your crochet hook into that loop. You're going to want to tighten the loop to make it so that it's pretty tight on the crochet hook. Don't make it so tight that you can't move the crochet hook, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Something like this is appropriate. The trickiest part about learning how to crochet is learning how to hold everything in your hands. I definitely recommend rewatching the beginning of this video until you get the hang of holding everything. And if you accidentally undo your magic ring, I have a tutorial linked down below of how to redo that. So let's get started on round 2. We're going to start off by removing the blue stitch marker. You can pull on it a little bit and you'll find a little hole. That's exactly where we're going to be inserting our hook into to make the very first stitch of round 2. So once you pop out your stitch marker, you're going to insert your hook exactly where the stitch marker was. Before we insert a hook, I just want to make sure that you're holding your hook properly. So you want to make sure it's parallel to your body and make sure the hook is facing downwards. That's going to make it a lot easier to guide the yarn in and out of each stitch. So pop your hook into the stitch. Again, it looks like a V, so now you should have 3 little loops on your hook. Next, we are going to yarn over, which means we're grabbing the yarn with our crochet hook like this. And we are gliding the yarn through the first 2 little loops on our hook like so. And now we're going to do that again. So yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. This is called a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round. Our next stitch is going in the exact same stitch that we were just in. So this stitch and not this stitch. We're going in the same hole that we were just in. So insert your hook into that little V, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops like so. Now you have 2 loops left on your hook, so yarn over and pull through those 2 remaining loops. What we just did is called an increase because we popped 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now you're going to count down 2 stitches away from the loop or the first stitch that we made, and you're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, we're going to make another single crochet in the next available stitch. So that's going to be this one here. Pop in your hook. There's 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And then yarn over again and pull through those second 2 loops. That was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to make our second single crochet in the same exact hole. So in the same place we just were, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the second 2 loops. Again, this is called an increase because we placed 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So now we have 4 new stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches from the previous round. So here I'm just pointing out with my thumb the 4 new stitches that we've done. Carrying on to the next stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in the exact same hole. Moving on to the next stitch. Again, here's your first single crochet, and here's your second single crochet in the same stitch. Again, popping your first single crochet in there and your second single crochet. And now we're moving on to the very last stitch of the round. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. That completes round 2. So because we placed 2 single crochets in each of the stitches of the previous round, we now have 12 little V's or 12 stitches in this round. So you should be able to go around and count 12 stitches. For round 3, we're going to start off by removing our stitch marker. And then we are going to place 1 single crochet in the next available stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Now we're going to pause here and mark this stitch. Now we are moving into the next available stitch, so there's no increase here. That's a single crochet, and the next one will be an increase, and then the next one will be a single crochet and then an increase. So making our first increase of round 3, in the next available stitch we are going to place 2 single crochets. So that's number 1, and going in the same hole we are doing the second single crochet. Next, 1 single crochet in the next available stitch, and an increase in the next available stitch. So single crochet, and then increase in the next stitch. Single crochet, and increase in the next stitch. And single crochet, increase, single crochet, and then increase, and this should be the last stitch before your stitch marker. So now you should have 18 stitches in your circle, so you should be able to go around and count 18 stitches. Moving on to round 4, we are going to go from 18 stitches up to 24 stitches. So we are going to make a first single crochet in this stitch, and then mark that stitch with your stitch marker. And then make a single crochet in the next available stitch as well. So single crochet, and then we're increasing in the third stitch. So make your second single crochet, and then increase in this third stitch here. Single crochet, increase. So making a single crochet, another single crochet, and then increasing in this third stitch. Single crochet, and increase. Single crochet, single crochet, and increase. And just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Coming up on the last increase of the round, and you should now have 24 stitches in your magic circle. So for round 5, we are going from 24 stitches up to 30 stitches. And you can remove your stitch marker now and place your first single crochet of round 5. And then mark the stitch. Now we are going to do 2 more single crochets. And then increase on the 4th stitch. So do another single crochet, another single crochet, and then increase. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, increase. Again, we are doing single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then increase. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. So we're on the last increase of the round here, and now we should have 30 stitches in our magic circle. For the next round, we are just doing a single crochet in each stitch around. We are no longer increasing. So place your first single crochet of this round, and then mark this stitch. For this round, you will still have 30 stitches at the end of it. And just single crochet in each stitch around the circle until you get back to the stitch marker. So you should still have 30 single crochets at the end of this round. For the next 9 rounds, we are going to be doing the exact same thing. So here I'm going to show you how to count your rows in case you get lost. So this is round 1. This is the very first round. This is round 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So as you can see, each round is separated by tiny little holes. And you can count your rounds this way in case you get lost in the next section, because for the next 9 rounds we are just doing a single crochet in each stitch around. Before we continue on though, we are going to weave in this tail so that it doesn't come undone later in our project. So you can grab your yarn needle from your Yarny Box kit, And I find it easier to thread the tail onto the needle by folding it in half and kind of squishing it on, and that way the end doesn't get all frayed. Next, you can pull your tail really tight to close that circle up, and we are just going to be poking the needle in and out of random stitches in the bottom so that the tail end doesn't come undone. So just make sure you're only ever poking your needle in one stitch apart, and then just go back and forth about 6 or 7 times to make sure the tail is very secure. For the next 9 rounds, again, all we're doing is 1 single crochet in each stitch around the circle. This is going to build the body of the fox. So for round 7, make your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. And then just continue with your single crochets all the way around. You should have 30 stitches by the end of this round and for the next 9 rounds as well. I'm going to speed up this portion of the video, and just don't forget to mark the beginning stitch of every single round so that you don't get lost. I will meet you back once you've completed round 15. We're coming up on the last few stitches of round 15, and now we are going to pause and add the eyes into our fox. You can find these eyes in your Yarny Box kit, and they come with a black part like this that shows on the outside and a plastic backing. You're going to count 7 rounds from the top, and in between rounds 7 and 8 you are going to pop in your eyes. Just make sure that they are on the opposite side of the stitch marker. I like to place my eyes about 3 stitches apart, but you can play with how you want it to look. And just remember, you're going to be sewing on a muzzle in the middle of the eyes later on in the project, so definitely leave enough room for that. And now you can just pop on the backs of your eyes. Your fox should look something like this, and now we are going to continue on to the body. We are decreasing now to close up the body. For round 16, you can start off by removing your stitch marker and making your first single crochet of the round. And then mark that stitch. And now we are going to make another single crochet and another single crochet. And now we are going to do a decrease. So if you look at your stitches, we are going to combine two of them together. Each one has a back loop and a front loop. We are going to go into the front loop only of the next two stitches. So here you can see there's a back loop and a front loop. So we are combining two stitches into one here. Insert your hook and insert it into the front loop only of the next stitch, and immediately into the stitch after that as well. So you should have 3 loops on your hook here. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And that is called a decrease. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then decrease. So front loop only of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. Just keep repeating the pattern of 3 single crochets and a decrease until you get back to the stitch marker. We are going from 30 stitches down to 24 stitches in this round. As you can see, the body of the fox is now going inwards, so we just have a couple more rounds left to do. Remove your stitch marker and place your first single crochet of the next round. Make another single crochet in the next stitch and decrease in the next stitch. Single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, decrease. And just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. You'll have 18 stitches at the end of this round. Next we are going to stuff the fox, so grab your polyfill stuffing from your Granny Box kit and begin stuffing the fox. I like to pull my stuffing apart before inserting it into the body, and just make sure you really shape out the body using your fingers to make sure the body is nice and round. You don't want to stuff it too full at this point because we need to close the circle. You can add a little bit more stuffing before we fully close it, and the body should look something like this. For round 18, you can remove your stitch marker and place your first single crochet of the round. Mark that stitch, and now we are going to do a decrease. and then single crochet. Decrease and single crochet. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Now we have 12 stitches in our circle, and I'm going to fill up the body a little bit more before we close it. For round 19, we are going to decrease in every stitch around the circle for a total of 6 stitches at the end. So remove your stitch marker and go right into a decrease. And then mark that stitch. Continue decreasing until you get back to the stitch marker. To close up the circle, I'm going to remove the stitch marker and make a slip stitch. All you have to do is insert your hook and pull through all the loops on your hook immediately, just like so. And then leave a tail about 6 inches or so for sewing. And then all you have to do is pull this tail through. And to close up this last little bit, you're just going to take your yarn needle and thread the tail onto it. And poke your needle through the front loop of each one of these stitches in the circle. This is going to create a drawstring where we can just pull the hole shut. So once you pull the hole shut, you can weave in your end. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now you can trim off your tail. And in part 2, I'll show you how to make the rest of the fox and sew everything together.